Okay, let's take briefly a look to the steps that we will need to configure a cloud-based machine learning production model to deploy it and consume it. Well, first of all, we did the authentication already. As you can see here, we have tested this already. Then we have initialized our workspace. Then after doing that, we need to create an Azure machine learning experiment. As you can see here, the name that I have given to my experiment is ML experiment 1. Then we really need to have a compute cluster to be able to train the models. In this case, my compute cluster is named AutoML. Then we need to be sure that we have the data that we need as an input for the model. In this case, we're going to be using the bank marketing train. As you can see it here, I have converted this into a data frame, and I'm able to see some basic matrix of the input. And then some pre-processing has taken place here. Then I have split the data into train and test data. And yeah, this is still some pre-processing. And then here you can see I have already created the auto machine learning settings. In this case, I'm saying that my primary metric will be the area under the curve. I'm saying that the task that I want to solve is a classification task. And after that, I'm also creating a pipeline and an auto machine learning step, as you can see here. The AutoML steps will be passed to the pipeline. And yeah, then I will submit the experiment. And as you can see it, once I have submitted the experiments, I'll just wait for that output. And once I have received that output, I will look up for the best model. I will test the best model, and I will deploy the best model. So now that our experiment run is complete, we're going to take a look to which one was the best model in the end, and that is the one that we're going to deploy. So we see it here. The voting ensemble was in this case the best one, which an accuracy of 0.94944. when it comes to the area under the curve weighted. And well, that's the model that we're going to deploy right now. So this means we're going to deploy this model. For this, well, we click on deploy. We will give it a name. I will call it AutoML Project 2. And I will use Azure Container Instance in this case. And I would enable the authentication. And then, well, once this is done, we can just click on deploy. And it will take some time to be deployed. As you can see, the deployment status is running. And we're going to be back once this is deployed. So now that we have deployed, I'm going to activate the application insights. The application insights is a particularly useful tool that will help us to detect anomalies and visualize performance of the model once this is running in production. So for this, you normally have to download the configuration file, which I did already, and then I will use the command line to to activate this. So as you can see with the configuration JSON file, what I did is that I put it together with all the files that I need. And you see here I have also this file called logs. If you see, I will just open it. And I have here a piece of Python code where I'm clearly saying, hey, I want to have enabled the insights. So that's basically what I did using the command line. As you can see here, I enter this command, pythonlogs.py, and well, you know, it ran. And once this is done, if you see and you go back to your Azure, you will see that application insights is already enabled. Okay, as next step, we are going to consume the model using Swagger. For this, a couple of steps have to take place. So for that, we're going to go first to the endpoints. And if you see here, we have our Swagger URI. And I'm just going to open that. And I'm going to save it where I have all my files together. Let's see, desktop starter files. We have here that the Swagger. We're going to save it as a Swagger.json. Okay, so now that we have saved that, we're just going to open this shell script file called also Swagger. Let's just open it maybe with something easier, with a numpad, for example. And we're just gonna change the port of running just to be sure that we don't have any issues. Let's that it's not taken. So we're to say go with, for example, 9001. That should work. Just save it. So once we have done those adjustments, we can just run the command line again. In this case, we just need to say, okay, we need to run this command, bash swagger.sh. And as you can see, the command has been processed. And then I'm able to get connected to Swagger by using the localhost. And this is just an example. What we are really interested is to see how it looks with our deployed model. For this, is to say we need a new one. You just need to change the directory. Just a second, please. Okay, now that we have changed the directory, we need to run our Python file that we have there. In this case, here this serve Python file. So you see then Python serve py, and now we're gonna check how it looks on the Swagger. We're gonna set in this case go to HTTP. Then if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna use the information from that Python file. It should be localhost 8000, if I'm not mistaken. We can take a look at this in advance. Let's just check. So this is again a piece of Python code, and indeed the port here is 8000, so it should be good to go. Let's explore it, and it seems to work. You see here, that's the name of our deployed model, and you see here you have to get and post methods ready, and you know the service inputs tells you which inputs are accepted. So, well, seems to be working. That's a good thing. So, well, seems to be working. That's a good thing, as we said before. But of course, we should do a test, right, of consuming our own model. So for this, you see, we have some basic consumption information. We have the REST endpoint and a key as an authentication. So what we're going to do is that we're going to generate a JSON file to use it as an input, and I would expect to receive also a JSON file as an output. For this, let's go first to my files, and if you see here, I have this endpoint Python file, which I have already prepared. You see here, these are the inputs in form of JSON. These are the input variables or features that the model is taking into account. And I will send two different tests. But for this, I need to, well, first of all, to copy this REST endpoint. And let's put it here. And then we will need the primary key. We're gonna copy it as well. Put it in here. So then we're gonna save it. And then we're gonna go again with the command line here. Gonna be sure that we're in the right directory. And yeah, that's the file that we need. It's the endpoint.py. So now we just need to run this file, Python endpoint.py, and we'll see if we see that result. So let me see, start the files. I'm on the right one. Just a second. So, well, yeah, as you can see, the Python endpoint.py now has given the results. In this case, the first input was classified as true, and the second input was classified as false. Since this is a classification task, it makes sense. And well, basically that's it. Thank you so much.